Last episode, we expanded our construction area so we could install a tree farm, and then we hid that inside a giant crane. With the addition of a few little storage crates and a dumpster truck, we finished off that corner of the yard. But today, we've got a whole lot more to be doing because I want to try and get this area finished, or at least much further along than it is now. And you may notice there's a little bit more going on in this area as well. I have actually extended the roads in between episodes. I had a couple of days where I didn't really feel like recording because I was basically handing in my laptop at work and making the whole redundancy thing official. But the good news is, that means I am now, as of today, a full-time content creator.
Look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
But enough about that. What are we going to be doing over here? So we have a tree farm. This is great, but it takes a lot of bone meal to feed it, so a bone meal farm might be quite good. But the other thing is, this isn't just for trees. This also does nether fungal things. What are they called? Warped and crimson fungus? I think that's what they're called. 1 minute. I need to hide my armor. I can't get used to this. There we go. That's much better. You can see me now. So what we're going to do, I think, is put in a nether warp farm or nether fungus farm type thing. So that way we can actually collect all the fungus we need and then use that to stock up over there. And I guess as a side effect of that, we're going to get lots of stuff we can bone meal as well. But then it's also going to take bone meal to run. So yeah, it's probably just going to mean we're definitely going to need a bone meal farm if we've got two things over here that need it. But anyway, what's the plan over here? So we have a bit of a construction site here, but currently there is nothing being constructed. So I think what I want to do is lay out the foundations of a building, where a building's going to go here. We may even have it sort of part constructed and so on. And then I think we're going to hide the farm underneath it, because below here, there's actually loads of space, because I've just sort of gone over this, I guess, with some coarse dirt. Look, if we dig down, in fact, that was a really poor place to look. But I assure you, there is space down here, look. Okay, it's a bit further back than I thought. And not as much space as I thought. Oh, and there sounds like there's bad things here as well. Let's just leave this area. But my point remains, we're going to stick a farm underneath. So first things first, let's lay out a foundation and make a start on this building. Well, it's looking a little bit funky right now, but I think I've worked out a shape we're going to go with. We've got some sort of main beams here, so they're going to be stretching up, and then we've got some smaller bits that are going to be sort of, you know, single, maybe two-story bits that sort of stick off the side of the building. And then I put in a bit here that's at an angle. I don't know if we'll keep that or not, but we'll see. So the next step is to actually build up the framework here. So I'm going to be using lots and lots of light-grade concrete, and I should have a bunch over here. So let's grab some more of this and get rid of our stone. So let's spend a bit of time and build up this framework, although of course it's not going to be a completed framework because, well, it's a building that's under construction. If it was complete, it wouldn't be under construction, would it? Well, that's looking pretty good. I think we might actually be done, at least for now. But I'm very pleased with how this has come out. We've got some of the main structure going up. We've got some of the rendering happening on the outside, but this is specifically because it has occurred to me, although we're building a farm underground, we're probably going to want storage up here. So I'm hoping I can turn this into a little storage area for the farm below. And then up here, we've got some floors marked out. We've got piles of materials. There will be a lot more detail going in up here, but I needed a break from it. I've placed a lot of concrete this morning. But I do like the effect of the floors being built, the planks that the workers are using to get around in the meantime as well. Also works pretty good, and the exposed steel beams that go in between all the concrete that's being constructed, I think having those there really adds to it as well. But we've still got lots more to do in and around this area to make it look a lot more like an active building site. However, for now, I think what I'm going to do is go down here and kind of dig my way over to this side, I guess, and we're going to dig out a great big hole and then we're going to build our farm. A hole has been dug, and now it's time to actually build the farm. So the warped fungus farm we're actually going to be building, well, I say warped fungus, it can be used for crimson as well, is actually by N. Collier on YouTube. I will link to that in the description. And it actually makes use of a slightly different mechanic, because most farms actually sort of flush out and they have a pause, but we can take advantage of a very special property of the mud block here. So there's a couple of things we need to know. The first one is that if we bone meal some nylium here, it will actually spread and grow things on the mud blocks as well, which is great. It will actually do that with sort of any blocks you can place these on. So you could use grass and dirt and so on. But there's a very specific reason we want to use mud. And that is because the mud blocks themselves are actually 1 pixel shorter. Although visually they are full-size blocks, so if you put them next to another block, they are full size. If we drop something on it, it'll actually get picked up by the hopper underneath because the hitbox sits just below. So that means instead of having a flushing farm and one that needs to pause every now and then to wash everything away, we can just instantly collect all the drops and then do what we will with them after that. So I'm going to build up this farm. As I say, if you do want to build this farm yourself, then do check out the tutorial by N. Collier. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, apologies if not, but it's a fairly straightforward farm to build, so I'm going to crack on and get this done. Oh my word. Look at this thing go. What am I going to do with all that? Let's just turn that off for now. Okay, well that's just crazy. That thing was running for like 30 seconds. This is a beast. So I would explain how it all works, but as usual, it's magic. Magic. I'll leave the intelligent redstone stuff to the intelligent redstone people, I think. But the important thing is it works, we followed the tutorial, and it's a wonderful thing. I love it. So now I need to solve the problem of storage. And I think what I want to do is actually put some item sorters down here. We'll separate out the crimson fungus and the warped fungus and send them up. And everything else we'll probably just send into composts. But we're going to need a little bit more space, so I guess I'm back to digging. And a short while later, I think we're actually done. So we've got a few item sorters there. That's going to sort out the bits that we want to keep, and then they get shot into these droppers. They get fired. I've actually linked this up to this machine here, so they're just constantly firing if the machine is running. And then that will get sent up this bubble vator, which will go to storage at the top, which we haven't done yet. And then all the bits we don't keep come along here, and they just go round and round in a circle here, getting picked up by about 14 composters, I think I've got here. So hopefully that'll be enough to keep up, but that will also give us a bit of extra bone meal down the bottom there. So if we just turn this on, we should see it start running. Look at this. Beautiful. And just so we don't accidentally pick anything up, we'll jump into free cam, but you can see here all the mushrooms are getting picked up, all the fungus things at the different points, and everything else goes through here and is getting bone meal. Look at those things go. But now though, we've still got a little bit more work to do. So I want to put this switch up to the top, so I want to be able to turn it on and off from up the top there. I also want to be able to refill the bone meal from at the top. And of course, we need to make sure we get the storage in. So, well, I guess we're going topside. A short while later, and I think we're done with our storage. So, as you can see, there is a bubble vator behind there, and that will feed into these two chests here, which is where we'll collect all the fungus. And we can also drop off bone meal in here, and that will feed down into the machine, which is lovely. But not only that, we can also turn it on and off from here as well. And you can hear it going absolutely crazy down there. And instantly as well, you can see all of the fungus coming in, which is excellent stuff. So the last thing to do is just to pretty much block off this corridor, because we don't actually need to come down here. Everything is automated now. So what we'll probably do is just kind of block it off and put a little door down here, I think. And then we can actually sort out the rest of the surface area, because we've got lots of space to work with and lots of things to do. So I've blocked up the end of that corridor with just a nice simple door and added a few lights, but that brings me on to the next problem we have here, which is a severe lack of lighting anywhere around here. So I need to come up with some kind of designs that are going to look like work lamps, I guess, so we can actually light up this build. Otherwise we're going to have huge problems with mobs, and that's definitely something we don't want. So I wonder, let's see what we can do. We should probably stick one in this corner to begin with, shouldn't we? So I guess we kind of want miniature versions of the generators we've built over there. I wonder how these are going to work. So maybe we could try with some of these. Let's have a little play around. Well, it's fairly basic, but to be honest, I actually quite like it. I think that looks like a little work lamp, and once we have a few scattered about, especially if we actually vary up the design a bit, we can have some taller ones, we can have some smaller, probably even have some with just one light on and so on. I think that could well work. So let's get some of these scattered about and see how it looks. And hopefully we'll have enough to actually light up the whole area here as well. The lighting problem has now been solved. We have this type of generator here. We have a singular one over this side. That's kind of the same as that, I guess. We've also got these tiny little ones here, which I've scattered about here and there. And if we go upstairs, we've even got a 4-way one. Look at that. But I think that really does actually help with the sort of, well, bringing a little bit of life to the construction yard. Because now instead of just an empty building, it's an empty building that looks like people might actually be working on it. Although it's missing some workbenches and some other clutter. So I think I'm going to spend a bit of time pottering around. Probably going to stick a forklift in down here as well. Maybe get some piles of other sort of construction materials around. I don't really know. But I'm going to potter around. I'm going to try and make this place look as lively as possible. Maybe we could even dig a hole out the back here and get another digger in. I don't know. First things first, I'm going to use the things in my hotbar to try and make some workbenches. Let's see where we go from there. Progress is being made. We've got a lovely little forklift over here, and I even added some poopers. They're not the greatest in the world, but they kind of fit with the scale, and from a distance, I think they work really well. Just don't get too close to them, because they probably smell as well. Look at all that mucky ground. But besides that, I've also added some workbenches. We've got a couple of mine carts just sort of laying around, and I have actually managed to sort of piston push a wall into this one, because it makes it look like it's carrying something. Quite like that. It's like a weird little trolley. But we've also got stacks of goods laying around. We've got more different styles of workbenches. We've got cups and things everywhere just to make it look like it is a site that's being worked. And that carries on up to the top floor as well, just with bits scattered around. And I think with that, the actual construction-y bit is done. However, we've still got lots of work to do around the outside. We need to sort out the rest of these foundations. And I think I have decided I do want to put another digger in. We're going to see if we can make a smaller digger, though, because we've got a giant one over there. I think a small one here digging a little hole might look quite good. Maybe even a hole that's got some water pipes or something going into it. Who knows? And then, of course, we've got all the space over here as well, where I might park 1 or 2 more machines, but we also need lots and lots of materials. So I think there's going to be big piles of materials over here, possibly even some stacks of panels that would be used for the rendering on the side of the building. We might be able to get some of those sorts of things around here as well. And then we need to make this look a little bit more road-like to differentiate it from the rest of the ground. So lots still to do, and I think I'm going to start over the back there with the digger and then work my way around this way and see how we get on. Absolutely love this building site. It's coming along so well. However, we still need to sort out round the back here, and we need to get some more of these generated lights in because it's a little bit dark out the front here. I think the construction yard is actually complete and I love it. I think it's come out really well. Even these little cones out the front here just to block off this bit because it's a very busy, heavily used road by construction traffic. We can't have it open to the public, but let's have a little look at some of the details we've added here. So there's a couple of spare parts for the digger here and there's actually some scattered around elsewhere as well. And I think that's just a nice little detail there always on building sites. And then, of course, we've got our skips, we've got some additional portaloos, we've got our lighting, and I've also added these kind of safety fences and a little stash of these over here for storage as well. And then as we get closer to the building, I've added lots of other things. So we've got some of these panels here that would be lifted up by the crane and put in place. And one of my favorite things is actually this little trench here. just because I think it works really well. It looks like there's some pipes and stuff going in, and of course, we've got the little platforms that get people across. And then besides that, we've got other things scattered about. So once again, there's more of those sort of spare parts for the digger. We've got more lighting. We've got some tubes that are all going in underground as well. And of course, we have our small digger at the back here, which I think came out really well, despite the fact I did actually put this bit on the front the wrong way round twice. Not just once, but twice. But this little digger's working away with the big pipes that are being scattered around over here as well, and getting these installed for all of the water circulation and so on. And then this, of course, links all the way back round to the start. But I really do like the small details that are in here. Even little things like this, where the earth is lighter. And if you actually look at this from a distance, let's jump into free cam. The idea is it kind of shows where it's already been dug up and pipe has already been laid. And I've actually done a similar thing from this trench as well for all the power cables. But I mean, maybe it could do with 1 or 2 more vehicles sort of on this road here. But overall, I am so pleased with how this area has come out. I think it looks absolutely awesome. We just need to actually sort out the outside. We need to figure out the rest of the roads and get all these connected up. And of course, we need to scatter some foliage on the edge here and get this looking nice too. So with this area being done, once we get the roads in, we will actually be able to start adding additional buildings and farms and so on. But that's something we're going to be tackling in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.